but that it is best understood by analogy with music. Because music, as an art form, is essentially playful. We say you play the piano. You don't work the piano. Why? Music differs from, say, travel. When you travel, you are trying to get somewhere. And of course, we, because being a very compulsive and purposive culture, are busy getting everywhere faster and faster and faster till we eliminate the distance between places.
Hi everyone, Anthony here with Ace's Adventures, and welcome to Topeka, Kansas, and welcome to the former White Lakes Mall, later dubbed White Lakes Center. Before I get started with my normal narration and information about this property, I want to give a very special shout out to my Oregon compadre, Vacant Exploration. He is the gentleman and a friend of mine who I have become pretty good buddies with over the past few months, and he does a lot of traveling and does a lot of urbexing, and I think I have kind of gotten into his psyche a little bit because he has been going to more and more malls. But he does some pretty awesome work and was in Topeka, and I recommended this place, and he was kind enough to get some footage for me. I 99.9% of the time, if not always, use my own footage, but he was kind enough to do that for me, and the footage is what you're seeing now. So I'm actually on the abandonedkansas.com page right now, and they've got a pretty nice write-up about the history of the mall. So what I'm going to do in a little bit different from normal fashion is going to skim through kind of the notes of what they have here written down. So go and check them out. Shout out to them as well at abandonedks.com. So some notes here of interest. The White Lakes Center received its name from the White Lakes Country Club that used to be on the site, had a 9-hole golf course. And in 1962, plans were announced to demolish the golf course and start working on a shopping mall. The $7 million plans actually ended up becoming $8 million plans, and in the mid-60s, to be precise, October 15th, 1964, the 500,000 square foot shopping mall opened its doors, and it was done so by a gentleman by the name of, or designed rather, by Keith Myers. So White Lakes quickly gained popularity. We're in the post-war era here of the 60s, and a 2-story Sears was one of the highlights of the mall. And then a JCPenney also signed on, both having auto centers. And this was one of the actual first full-line Penny stores in the country. So some very, very early history with this property. The Sears was the anchor on the north end, and the Penny's was the anchor on the south end. A lot of the early malls were just long, like strip malls, indoor and enclosed, but usually just had a north and a south end. It wasn't until later, the 70s and 80s, when we started seeing different shapes of malls. So some highlighted stores here were Walgreens, Toy and Hobby Mart, which actually sold pets for a short amount of time, and a Command Performance Beauty Salon, and Robinson's Shoes. Some other places that were of interest were Falley's Market, which was a grocery store that you could get to inside or outside the mall. Having a grocery store in a mall was never really that common of a thing. And then there also was a Brass Rail restaurant, which was very popular, and I guess their taco burgers were amazing. So if you are from that area and remember those, please leave a comment down below. We also had Town and Country Restaurant, and the mall had some pretty unique features too. It had a cage which actually housed a squirrel monkey for a few years, and then had live birds for a period of time as well. These malls were very, very wild back in the day. There also was a couple small koi ponds, and one had a pretty unique fountain that was flowing into it, and it was over by the Sears. And this area also would be where they would set up for the marionette puppet show during the Christmas season. And then things started to change, guys, in 1988, and they became very slow and painfully slow when the mall got some competition. The West Ridge Mall opened up nearby, and by the time it eventually opened, actually snatched away Sears and Penny's from White Lakes. So imagine a smaller mall losing both of its anchors. That really, really started to hurt the property. Housing developments sprung up on the west side of the city, which were closer to the new West Ridge Mall, and you can imagine where I'm going with this as what happens, when competition, starts up and properties start to pop up in another area. Fast forward to 2000, and most of the stores had already moved out of the mall, and it was converted into an office complex with only a few retail stores left. Some of the remaining tenants that hung on until almost the end were Walgreens Drugs, which I had mentioned earlier had been there since the mall's opening. Electronic Data Systems, Blue Cross Blue Shield, Kansas Children's Services, and a fitness center, and a couple other places. So by 2007, all of the companies that were using the mall as office spaces moved out of the building, and it was sold to Ken Lindermuth in September of 2009. He proposed a plan to demolish the southern mallway section and a new vision of exterior entrance, retail, and office space. Unfortunately, as happens a lot, Mr. Lindermuth filed for bankruptcy in 2012, and the property sits on the market today. So this place has been abandoned for over 10 years, and as you can see, it has seen better days. The one last thing to note here is there also was a pretty amazing Fox White Lakes Theater that opened in 1967, and it's you can see, even though it's gone, you can see the remnants of the theater from way, way, way back in the day. So that's about it, really, guys. Not a whole lot of information here. You can see just how trash this place is. Once again, I want to give one more shout out to my good buddy at Vacant Exploration for the footage. Once again, check him out on Instagram at Vacant Exploration. This is Anthony with Aces Adventures. Hopefully you enjoyed yet another abandoned mall tour. Check us out on the Dead Malls of Discord. A lot of your favorite creators are on there, myself included, and I will leave a link to join in the description box below. Hope you guys all have a wonderful weekend, and make sure you are following me on Instagram and Twitter at Aces Adventures 1. Enjoy the rest of the tour, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.
The abandoned White Lakes Mall has some new residents. Squatters are said to be on that property, and the people in charge of selling the building are worried that might lead to injuries and an unsafe building. 13 Sean Weed is also live. He's talked with people at the rescue mission live at South Topeka, sharing what's being done to help those people inside.
Well, first, let me give you a look of the White Lakes property. As you can see, there's boards up, but United Country Real Estate has been given the task of selling the White Lakes Mall property, but they recently learned a number of homeless people have built a camp inside. The Topeka Rescue Mission is aware of the White Lakes squatters, but tell 13 News there isn't much that can be done to help.
If someone doesn't want help, they're not getting help.
Topeka Rescue Mission's Executive Director Barry Feeker says they have tried to reach out to the nearly 15 people who have made the old White Lakes Mall their home.
We've been multiple times in the last couple of weeks to help them. Some people just aren't willing to accept help and just don't want to move forward.
The Street Reach team cannot go inside the mall and find the homeless, and police can't either. That's because the building is condemned and not safe for anyone to go inside.
You know, there's electricity, there's gas, there's potentially water and water pressure and things like that coming into a building like this, and so it's not safe.
But it's not only unsafe. Feeker worries there could be more at play.
The drug issues, possibly human trafficking, what kind of other issues are at play here, or possibly being in a situation where they could ignite a building, and that has happened before.
Feeker's team has been waiting for those inside to come out so they can talk, but until they want help, there isn't much more that can be done.
If we are not able to help a small percentage of the people that are presenting the issues that they're presenting, how can we think outside the box to be able to reach them, if at all possible? Sometimes you can't. But have we thought of everything? The answer is no. Can we think of more? Yes, if we work together.
Well, Topeka police say they will only respond to calls inside White Lakes if there is someone's life in danger. They say they are not equipped to handle the dangerous conditions because, as you can see by the sign, it says condemned. Now, they've been working with United to secure the building, but the only thing that is standing between anyone is just this piece of plywood. Ralph?
Sean Wheat, thank you. Longtime Topekans know the life story of that building, and thanks for telling us what's going on over there now.